What's up, YouTube? Curtain6693 here to bring you gaming and anime news, as well as anything that I find interesting. Today, I want to talk about a very interesting topic, at least to me. This is something that I've been let me back up. As I've been playing games for a long time. I mean, I'm not an expert or anything. I'm just a gamer who likes games, who is very involved in it. But one thing that I've kind of noticed, especially in the online community, especially as I've branched out and seen the gaming world as a whole, I've noticed a certain change in the trend. And this may sound pretty obvious, but I've noticed that multiplayer has become a huge thing in video games. And I guess if I know this sounds painfully obvious, but there's something that I'm going with this. And what I wanted to talk about as far as the multiplayer is just how big it's gotten. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, on Nintendo 64 or even hell, the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, I remember playing those consoles and having a blast. Like, I played Nintendo for years, PS2 for years, and PS2 didn't even get live until like the last few years of his lifetime, and even then, I think it was honestly for the most part unplayable. I don't know. I never played the live service, but I knew it was nowhere as good as it is today. But basically, what I'm saying is, I played single player games for a long time. I still have my PS2 and pretty much all my games. I think I've sold about maybe 20% of them, but most of those games were games I don't care about anymore. But most of my really good ones, like the Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi series, Naruto Ultimate Ninja, the Splinter Cells, Prince of Persia, just all those, the Spider-Mans, just all those, I kept those. But just one big question that I want to ask is: are gamers nowadays too dependent on multiplayer? Like, I have a lot of friends on Xbox Live who've actually stated, I never keep single player games, because they have no value, but they'll keep multiplayer games, and I mean, I would say there's nothing wrong with that, but but it's just something I've kind of noticed is like, a lot of people, they don't need. I know some people, they'll rent or they'll buy a single player game, beat it in like 2 days, and then sell it right back in. I mean, but honestly, a lot of people, and this is not for everybody, but a lot of people, they don't really keep games anymore, especially the good single player games. Like, I know a lot of people who you've already sold the BioShocks, and I think they have great stories. There are other games out there like that too. And it's not just Bioshock. That's just the first one that came to my head. But I'm sure there are plenty of games out there, that are great games. Even to today, the great games that people, they'll sell back. Oh, it's more. I've beaten the story. There's something else to do. But see, I come from a time where, if you had a great game with a great story, you kept on to that. You could replay it years. I have games where, like Jade Empire, great martial arts epic RPG by BioWare. On original Xbox has no sense of multiplayer, and I still play that game to this day. I still go back from every couple of months and just play through it and just have a blast. And that's just something that I just really just thought about. Like, have gamers in general, just become less independent. Like, they aren't able to, they can't hold a single player game. They have to play with someone else. They don't know how to have fun by themselves. Enjoy the story, enjoy just that lone warrior, that lone ranger, type deal. And, like, for instance, like, a lot of people, there was a lot of criticism for GTA 5, and I know that's out today. I'll be getting that in a few hours. But I know there was a lot of criticism over GTA 5 because, GTA 5, the multiplayer is not coming out for 2 weeks, and people are like, oh, what am I going to do for 2 weeks, No, play the fucking single player. I mean, there's an entire story, a campaign. Like, no offense, it took me months to beat San Andreas. It took me days to beat GTA 4, and that's if you have nothing else to do. That's if you're playing the game all the straight through. It's gonna take you at least a few days to a week, and that's if you have no life. But me, I probably won't be able to play the game that much during the week, so I may not beat it for weeks down the road. So 2 weeks is gonna fly by for me, and that's the problem that I have. A lot of people, I don't know, like they can't handle the game without multiplayer anymore, and that's something that I don't think it's a terrible thing, but I think it's something that I show concern about. When gamers have become this way. I miss the days where gamers could find a great game, because there are some great single player games out there. that I feel like people trade in like 2 days later, and it just, like they have less value, and I think, and I do think that multiplayer needs to have. I do think that multiplayer. I'm not saying I'm mad at multiplayer. I'm just saying that for those games that are single player, and because not every game is meant to be multiplayer. There's some great games that are just meant that maybe just need to stay single player, you know. But I just kind of feel like those games sometimes, they're popular for like 2 weeks, and then after that, you never hear from them again, and that's something that I wish we would go back to our old ways, or at least or at least recognize that single player games do have a lot of value. And I know there are gamers out there who do keep those games, but it's just far too in between to I see gamers they'll just play them for like 2 days and then that's it. So I mean, let me know what you guys feel. Do you guys keep your single player games? Do you not? Do you are you more of an independent gamer, or are you more the person that has to play multiplayer? Let me know. Let me know. Rate, comment, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Current 669 3 out.